my friend told me something. He said, when you travel to visit, it's like Yankee, like it's like all the movies you watch. You travel to Bahamas, and they come back. They always come back. When you travel to leave, that's a different concept entirely, right? Then you have to factor every other thing. You have to factor taxes, you have to factor work, you have to factor timing, you have to factor so many other things, right? And when you look at all the things you have to factor, sometimes you cannot even say you don't want to do it again because you have already, all your family members have said, yeah, so don't come back, go, you have made it for us. So you are stuck there, being depressed. Nobody knows that you're depressed, hating yourself, getting upset, and then you don't virtually know when you start doing bullshit for just some little funds that you can use to take care of yourself.
Every Nigerian wants to Japa. Every Nigerian wants to leave this country in search of a better life, a more dignified life, a life without worrying about basic things. I dare you to say you haven't at least thought about it. But at what cost? Apart from the time and money that goes into the process, what about the emotional and spiritual cost? Ken Nwadiogbu answered these questions in dramatic fashion at his solo exhibition, filled with literally eye-catching works of art that addresses every Nigerian's dream of escaping this nightmare. We begin with Ken describing the most stirring piece of this entire exhibition and how that tells the story of Nigeria's migration nightmare. Riveting stuff. My name is Rodney Omokache, and you're welcome to The Young God.
Tell the audience what is in front of us right now.
Okay, so we have a very big canoe. Like the regular canoe you see in like Ilaje, if you're ever in Lagos, right? Ikota, all these places. And the canoe is hung up by a chain, right? Suspended by a chain, with a chain. Two chains, one at each end of the extreme part of the canoe. And on the canoe we have like lots of boxes, and these boxes are of different colors, which sort of represent the migrant that we spoke about. And on the body is designed with Adire motifs, right? And they're sort of very spiritual, almost like they are blessing the whatever material that you paint them on. And in this case, and in this installation is the canoe, right? And the concept is Johnny Mercies. That's the idea of the work. Yeah, that's the title of the installation, Johnny Mercies. And it's like hoping, blessing your journey. Like, okay, you're gonna have a very great journey. But when you think of this different perspective of what I'm trying to show you, you start wondering why canoe, and why are these boxes on the canoe? When you think of canoe, you think of migration to the sea. When you think of migration to the sea, you think of Badagry, slave trade. And I liked the connection between the two of them, and I'm going to explain the connection now. In those days, we had ships, right? There's a very popular ship called the Jesus of Lubeck. Comes to Badagry, right? And picks up slaves. Right, and these slaves go in chains, and they pass this place called Point of No Return. Right, it means that once you pass that place, you can't go back. Right, and they take these migrants and they put them and they stack them up inside the ship at the base, and they move for probably days and maybe weeks over to Europe. They pick up they take these migrants out, and they start making them work as slaves. When you think of contemporary migration, we're not in chains, but we are passing the point of no return, because if you ask a regular Nigerian, if you travel, are you going to come back? No, they're not going to come back. Especially what I was telling you downstairs, like you see people filing asylum, you see people going prostitution just so that they can live out of the country, they can go out of the country. So they don't have intentions of coming back, right? So they are in their own capacity and in their own ability, personally deciding to enter this Jesus of Lubeck, right? Stacking themselves up, because if you go to immigration offices, if you go to American visa office, you see like loads of people, you see queues of people trying to leave the country, right? Stacking themselves up just to leave. People fall out of the canoe and they die in the way, they have issues in the way, they get rejected in the way, and they feel like all hope is lost. While the people are on the canoe find a way to get to the other side. When they get to the other side, they never think of coming back. So I thought, I'm not talking about the moral aspect of it. I'm just saying I need to represent that so people can be aware of that. Because then you don't know whether another person is going through what you're going through. So you are so alone in your thought, and you cannot voice it out, because you cannot literally tell somebody what you're about to do just so that you can travel. But I feel like this whole installation sort of like brings you to that fact that, wait, think about it. What is the risk you're about to take just to leave this country, and why? Because when you get there, it's not like it's going to be better. Trust me, it's a whole cruise. You get there. When my friend told me something, he said, you travel to visit. When you travel to leave, it's a different cruise. When you travel to visit, it's like Yankee, it's like all the movies you watch. You travel to Bahamas, then they come back. They always come back. When you travel to leave, that's a different concept entirely, right? Then you have to factor every other thing. You have to factor taxes, you have to factor work, you have to factor timing, you have to factor so many other things, right? And when you look at all the things you have to factor, sometimes you cannot even say you don't want to do it again, because you have already, all your family members have said, yes, so don't come back, go, you have made it for us. So you are stuck there, being depressed. Nobody knows that you're depressed, hating yourself, getting upset, and then you don't virtually know when you start doing bullshit for just some little funds that you can use to take care of yourself. And I was just trying to represent that. So if you see the back, the other side of the canoe, I wrote the title, The Jesus of Lubeck, right? And this is their fifth voyage, because it stopped at the fourth voyage before they cancelled the whole slave trade stuff. So this is almost like the fifth voyage. This is the new contemporary migration, where people are consciously and making the decision to travel without even trying to come back. It's just telling you to just be aware of it. Be aware of your kids who travel there, and you keep telling them, don't come back. Be aware of what it does to their mental health. Be aware of how important it is for him to come back, or for the person to come back. No, maybe not after 2 months or 3 months, maybe not after 1 year or 2 years, but there should be an intention of coming back. In that way, the person knows why he's there. He knows that, okay, I need to get this certain level of knowledge. I need to get this certain level of experience so that I can come back and, use these experiences to better my life, or to better the society, or to just do something. Because here you have a purpose. There you are a worker. 2 different cases. The work you do here is purposeful, because it transforms the society. The work you do there is work.
Just work.
It's just work, man.
Drudge work. Wow, man, you put it so well. And I know that I'm talking to someone when they make me think of something in a way I haven't thought about before. And bro, you are busting my brain today. And this is why I love art. Guys, you should come see this if you can, because the way Ken has represented this idea visually,
very theatrical,
very dramatic, and you're seeing the faces on the boxes, because that's something you haven't mentioned. There are faces painted on these boxes, which represent, and they look like young people, not just old, like young people whose dreams are, maybe going up in smoke as a result of this risk they've taken to find greener pastures.
Yeah, you can even see some with glasses that sort of represent the expatriates. You can see some with beards. You can see some young boys. So we can see ladies. I just decided to put all different aspects of identity and personalities on the canoe, so that you can have an idea, so that you can relate to any one of them and realize that this conversation is not just for the boxes is also a personal thing.
So the canoe is suspended, right?
Yeah.
And that also like signifies to me sort of like purgatory.
Yeah.
In between,
Yeah.
you know, where you're trying to go and your
where you
home,
are, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that like the mixed feelings that come with that.
Yeah.
Because now anyone who's trying to leave, I haven't heard what you just said about the process and how it's not even the solution.
Yeah.
It's like now you're suspended in terms of where I am makes no sense
Yeah,
to
makes
me,
no sense, yeah.
and where
Where
I'm
I'm
going
going.
might be worse. So you're just suspended.
It's such a risk. It's such a very crazy risk. And then there's a canoe, and the canoe, if you look at it, some parts has been broken. Like we didn't like completely refine it because I wanted people to know that how they are even traveling is on like really delicate rafts.
Yeah.
Like some of the ways they used to travel, you'll be shocked. Like you could die there, bro. Do you understand? The canoe is like a very good example. That's why I said I was going to eventually do a whole video representation, like a drone shot, and me paddling the canoe, so that they can understand. I said when the boxes start falling into the water, first of all, I'm sure it's a kill me to see the boxes in the water, but at the same time, it's a conversation about how easy it is for you to just die on the way or to get lost in the way.
And you know what? It's poetic that it should kill you because that's like part of the art itself.
Yeah.
Like the artist is also feeling the pain of losing some of these
boxes.
boxes.
Yeah.
It's there's so many layers to this thing, and I am so honored that I get like a first person, like a front row seat to your process of this. There's so many conversations like so now each of these people on this canoe is basically taking a risk on themselves. You're betting on yourself and your ability.
Yeah.
You know, because I've thought about it sometimes. I've thought about the possibility of leaving and going somewhere else. And I don't feel as much angst as maybe the average person because I believe in myself and my capabilities. I'm infinitely talented and gifted in so many different things. I believe if I enter anywhere, I can thrive. You know, it's different for someone else who may not have that same kind of capability but still needs to leave.
Yes, but then when you look at the fact that you are a box, you must actually protect something. Something must be inside you.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Something has to be inside you. You are a box. And there's an item there. In fact, the only reason why you are even accepted in this place is because they find value in you. If they don't find value, they reject your visa. Straight up. The reason why they accept you in the legal way of traveling or transporting or migrating is that they see value in what you're bringing. In fact, you see that in England now, they are doing this thing where they can accept people's working visa if you are an expatriate in medicine or this or that. And you see a lot of people, even mostly tech, right? Because they realize Nigerians are so tech savvy. Right? If we can get a lot of tech-savvy Nigerians over to the UK, we can build so many things, so many ideas can flow. So when you think of that concept, you realize that we are all just boxes keeping items in us. And once you realize that, I don't think you would, want to diminish the kind of power you have. In fact, if they accept your visa, I think you should just be like, I have something inside me that is mad. And I think it should be like an encouraging factor to know that, okay, I can come back and still use this thing that these people used to accept me and use it to like build myself or build what I am.
How dope has the show been so far? For real. If you're enjoying this podcast, do support by following on IG at The Young God Pod and Twitter at I Am The Young God for exclusive content and updates. Feel free to slide in my DMs and let me know what you're feeling, what your listening experience is like, and whatever else might be on your mind. I'm here for it. And by the way, do subscribe and tell a friend.
You know, one of the ways I describe this podcast to people is storytelling for community development. Every story, every conversation, because apart from having conversations with people, I tend to have like my own ideas about things, and I just deposit them on the podcast, and my audience, they understand what that's about. So, this is so, and this is a topic that I never dreamed in 1,000 years that I'll be able to have on this podcast, spoken about in such a unique way. I am so honored, bro. You have no idea because
Thank you.
it's given me a lot to think about personally.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking about my own choices and my own plans that I've been making, and these are things that we don't think about when we're trying to start this immigration process.
Yeah.
It's just I cannot wait to go. Japa is the
Yeah.
thing, but there's so much to consider. Like what do you lose and what do you gain?
You
by it.
And the beautiful part is that it does not even there's no answer,
There's no answer.
right? And there's no judgment. There is just representation. There is just knowledge, right?
Yeah.
It's not like you're not knowing. It's not like you're knowing it for the first time. It's that you are aware of it now. There's an awareness,
Yes.
right? And I
yes.
think that's the beautiful part of art. The art does not say no, or it does not fight. It does not argue. It does not. Art just represents and starts up the conversation.
Yeah.
Start up the conversation. Now, your answer or your ideas in that conversation is personal to you.
Yeah.
As far as that art could start that conversation, that's what that art was meant to do.
Spot on.
Thank you.
Like what I always say to people about because the podcast can have some very polarizing ideas sometimes,
Yeah.
things that you may not agree about. But what I do say is that whether you agree or not is not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that I have unpacked an idea or a concept
Yeah.
as best as I can.
Yeah.
And that lets you know where you stand.
Thank you. Exactly.
More than anything.
Exactly.
Because sometimes we don't know what we believe or why we believe a thing until we've gone through that conversation process with somebody.
Yeah.
So I play my role, and what I say is my role is to think aloud.
Yeah.
So I think aloud on certain things, and I say what I believe to be my truth on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Your own perspective.
My own perspective. And then let you, the listener,
Yeah.
come to terms with if it makes sense to you or doesn't.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, at the very least, you know at least where you stand and you know why you stand on that.
Yeah.
So art, whether it's audio or visual or experiential,
It does the same thing.
it does the same thing.
It does the same
And we need that. That's why, again, having your art displayed in the streets like that is such. It's equal in my eyes to Burna Boy performing at MSG.
Yeah.
It's equal in my eyes because what Burna Boy is doing there, he's bringing his Africanness
African culture. Yeah.
to this hallowed MSG ground
Yeah.
that has had so many little legends pass through.
Yeah.
And you're having this
Concert of assault.
of sorts. And you talk
Yeah.
about the fact of doing art in Dubai, not just go and recreate Dubai
but
architecture.
to bring the
your own
there.
culture
Yeah.
there. So what Burna Boy did at MSG is what you're doing in London in those streets. And man, I am so proud of you.
That's a good way to think about it. I'm like having a concert in London.
A
visual concert.
Without any words, without talking too much,
Yeah.
you're letting these people have it. And it's so weird, right? Because you go to a concert and you're having a group experience.
Yeah.
At the behest of this artist.
Yeah.
Right. So you already know personally.
Yeah.
What's different with yours is you may not even know Ken personally.
Yeah.
And it might not be a group experience, but everybody that passes that
Personal,
street
yeah.
will have a personal
Experience.
encounter
Yeah.
with these colors, with these works, and it's just
Yeah.
as meaningful, it's just as powerful.
Thank you.
I mean, bro.
Thank you, man.
I mean. And you know the best part, the absolute best part?
What?
You're getting paid. You're getting paid.
I swear to God, man.
Dude,
I'm
and
telling you,
the
man.
feeling to do what you do and have it reflect
Yeah, man.
in decimals and zeros.
Yeah.
I mean, and now I saw somewhere about NFTs.
Yeah,
adding more ways to milk your skill.
yeah,
Fuck
man.
that shit.
I think that's the beautiful part of artists now. We love art. We do art. We create art, but we know how to because people have done it before us, before time.
Yeah.
And then you have platforms that also encourages that, like Retro Africa Gallery. I've been working for them almost 7 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and when you consider the kind of effort they've put into promoting Nigerian artists, into promoting Nigerian conversations, and even into selling, these works to like high-end people, just so that it can give the works quite a number of value. I think then you start to understand like the kind of collaboration that needs to exist for the art space to like flourish and to be preserved. And I think that's the beauty of the gallery, the artist, and the curator.
And the audience.
And the audience is always the end. It's always the end.
Let's take a moment to pause and breathe. Relieve the tension. Whatever you're doing, close your eyes, take a deep breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's resume.
So, one of my last questions for you is mastery. I'm a big proponent and advocate of mastery, like being able to get your skill to the highest possible level.
Yeah.
What does that look like for you? Is that something you think about?
Yeah. The idea is important. The message is important. The execution is important. But then even the perfection too is very important. I think a great artist is someone who pays attention to every part of the what makes the art, right? It's almost like everything is like check. Oh, now I can't get it. Do you understand? And sometimes, like me, if there's an error somewhere, like I feel it, right? And it can just mess up the whole conversation or the whole idea of the work. And for me, I try to do as much as I can to make sure that I eliminate all errors. I make sure that it is perfect to me. If it's perfect to me, then I'm sure it's perfect to everybody. And if anybody thinks it's not perfect, then that's your own perspective. So at the end, mastery is important. Mastering. That's why I cannot even like this style. I feel I'll still continue to do it and build on it, because like my mentor said, you cannot exactly understand what you're doing in a year, even in 2 years. You need to do it for a long time before you begin to like understand it. Like it's like doing something over and over again. At the point it's instinctive. It's like it's already part of you. And that's the concept of the whole work and mastery, actually.
Mastery, For me, it's very similar, because doing this podcast, I've been doing it for 5 seasons. It's 3 years this month, actually.
Wow.
I've spoken to a lot of people. I've spoken about a lot of different things. And the entire time, I'm seeing how my perspective and my perception of even the work I do has been changing with each iteration. You know what I mean? So at one point, I was thinking it was this thing. But now I think it's something else.
Because you continued it.
So mastery and mastering my voice, mastering my ability to have these conversations, thinking of the audience as well, how I want them to feel as a result of this, and then learning the tools of the trade that allow me to like achieve that. It's the journey of it. It's like probably my favorite part. You know what I mean? More than anything, and I'm here for it, man. So, bro, we're just two gods out of the best we're given.
I'm telling you, man.
And I exhibited at AAF.
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah, I'm a photographer. Also, like,
are you serious?
Bro, I'm as good as it gets.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is it in a photo festival?
Photo festival, yeah.
Oh, sick, man.
I did this project called the Fantastic Gates of Igboland, where I took pictures of gates.
Oh my God,
bruh.
Gateway into something.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The culture, the history.
That's amazing.
So getting all those gates and displaying it at Africa Photo Fest, that was.
And Igbo men, they can be very specific about their gates. If you go to Enugu, all the gates look different, and sometimes I don't know my uncle's house, but once I see the gate of my uncle's house, I know that. I'll stop here. This is the place. Yeah.
And the stories behind them, you find some that put their name on it.
Yes.
Some that put their portraits on it.
Some that even put their design that really
represent their
them.
family.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's African culture is so rich, and that was my contribution. And then I did a project. This festival in Abagana. Do you know Abagana? This village called Abagana.
Yes, I've heard about it, but I don't really.
So the new Kukuyam festival called Edaro,
Yeah.
where all these like masquerades dance and whip each other. So I documented that
Are you serious?
as well. I was in the shrine when the chief priest was doing all the things. I got all that footage and all those images. It was crazy. That did
What?
bro. And then I found podcasting and I left all that. That's how I've been. I have all these, things on my fingertips that I want to try, and when I feel like I just do it.
Yeah, I don't think you even left anything, because even in your photographs, it's like almost you're a storyteller, right? I think what you just did was to shift the creativity from camera to like vocals, which is still very amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Because I really enjoy it. They're
really great. Azu, a great guy.
Is amazing. Yeah.
Great guy.
He wrote the statement for the catalog.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, for this show.
Man, shout out to him. He'll lose his fucking mind every time he hears this. Because he follows my podcast.
I used to.
When he sees that, sat down with me, be like,
yeah, he's
bro.
amazing.
And I cannot wait for him to. I'm just waiting for him patiently to decide that audio should have a place in like the photo fest of it all. Like,
oh, that would be mad.
I'm waiting.
That
Like,
would be mad.
I'm building the skills for that. When the time comes, I'll be ready.
Because in my show in London, Johnny Mercies, with the boxes. When I was traveling to London, I put a small recorder inside my pocket. So I recorded the whole journey. Yeah, so even when they are begging me for money, I had that all recorded. When the flight attendants, thank you so much. When the flight attendants, I recorded everything. And at the end, I saw it, I heard the whole thing. We put some instrumentals there. We showed it. So while people were looking at the boxes, they were hearing boo boo, da, da, da. They were so much immersed in almost like an airport or like a train station. And I think the beauty of audio is there. Like if people can actualize, bring audio into the physical work, you can get people. They say the best kind of art is art that connects to the most senses: sight, feeling, hearing, smelling, and
taste.
even taste. Right? So sight, good. Hearing, good. Right? Feeling, good. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All that meaning is just probably taste. And that's why you take wine. You understand?
Yeah.
So when you can capture all senses, then the art is like fulfilled.
Ken Nwadiogbu, you're welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
for
much.
doing this for me.
Thank you so much. Yeah, definitely.
Man, you're good at what you do. Man. This is the young god.
Yeah, man. We are young gods.
We're young gods.